Right then, guys, welcome into Chill Charts Sessions, back again. A little while since we've done one of these, so I thought I'd start them up again. We're going to obviously have a look at Big Boy Bitcoin today. We'll have a look at Sol, Hype, and a couple of the other big coins as well. But really want to concentrate on the big boy, obviously, because we need to have a look at what is going on. We're going to run through a little bit of history, obviously, over the last couple of weeks, and try and draw some conclusions today, as Bitcoin is at this crucial stage, isn't it? So whether you found your local crypto bros to be an Epstein expert or suddenly a gold and silver expert, we're going to concentrate on what we know best. We're going to stick to our lane and have a look at the big magic internet money coins. All right, so grab yourself a coffee. We're just doing this in the Euro session, probably going to do these in the Euro session, so obviously do the update video on a Tuesday. We'll do a YouTube live on a Wednesday. If you want to get more involved with us, join us in the WAP group. We're posting in there every day. Obviously, the guys in there will tell you that I'm up at 5-6 o'clock in the morning posting a little bit of market analysis, live sessions in there most days as well. Console, we are on at the minute. Trader Console, all right. You need the best data platforms you can get. Trader Console, grab a link from below, free pro trial. Obviously, we've got the Art of Data Driven Market Analysis course in there as well. Yeah, I'm just checking the screener a little bit today to see if there's any outliers. I always do that. With a lot of altcoins, you will find a lot of shit floating around in the market at the minute. I would say a lot of the altcoins, there's no real edge in trading them at the minute. They're going to follow BTC and ETH, but now and again, flick into your screen, see what's got some bid, see what's got some high open interest. You know, even is anything got any super negative funding? As we rise up, prices rise up. Is anything in major supply? As we drop down, is anything finding some bid? So always have this open all day, 24 hours on the on one of my monitors. All right, guys. So yeah, multiverse view then. Just a quick overview right now of where we are. Okay, so look, we dropped down yesterday, was looking for a little bit of a drop or a push up yesterday. It's always the case for me that more often than not, sometimes I don't even press any buttons on a Monday, sometimes a Tuesday as well, because I like the Monday range to play out, okay? And then we play a deviation of one of those, okay? So yesterday was looking for the Monday highs to get taken out. They didn't get taken out. In the US session, we just started to dribble down with the price action, didn't we, okay? The Monday lows were actually around 74.3-ish, so we deviated well below there. We hit some good ratios on the spot market again. So spot buyers, okay, spot buyers are getting involved here, okay? I agree with them. I think it's not a bad area to get involved in some spot investments, okay? I'm not saying that this is it, you know, we're going to mega center 200k. I don't think it's going to be easy here, and we will go over that today. I've got a couple of scenarios that could be good for us, but there's always a cautionary tale as well to be gone over in these scenarios, because basically we are trending down, okay? We are trending down hard. 1 hour, 4 hour, you know, even the daily chart is all down. We've got no change of structure yet at all, okay? So you don't need to be diving in here with any maximum amounts of leverage until we actually get market structure change. What is that? Simple baby pip stuff, okay? Higher highs, higher lows, all right? ETH, yeah, back at the same price it was here yesterday, really. Hype has been doing okay. Real big squeeze on Hype last week. It just seems to be forming a little bit of a range. And Soy Boy Sol is struggling a little bit, isn't it? Okay, something to note. You've got a level here. Okay, they've just moved some bid up to this 96 level, but you do have offers coming down to meet price. They've just slightly been lifted there, but yeah, keep an eye on that. Okay, so look, we're going to dive in some data. We're going to go a higher time frame as well and just see what is going on, and see if we can draw some fresh conclusions on this Wednesday. Okay, so settle in, grab yourself a coffee. If you're watching this on playback, grab yourself a beer or drink of your choice. All right. Yeah, so look, a little bit of history from where we've come and where we are now. Best way to show that really. We've been following a lot of you. I'll keep this really quick because a lot of you will know this anyway, but we've been following this schematic down, haven't we? right back since the December the 13th, before we moved up after December. What we started to do was, and I'm only going over this quickly for anyone that is new or unfamiliar with this, is as we started to form this range here after that seller climax, we were just gathering a lot more data, okay, and we could see the liquidity in the zones, okay, building, okay, big areas of liquidity building. Tie that in with the OBD and the levels, you know, the bid and the ask as well. You can draw yourself some really nice pictures on what you can kind of expect to see, okay? So as we moved on, I won't go through all the, go to my Twitter account, I'm not going to go through all this. As we moved on, we got the really nice, so this was a really nice one down here. It was a little bit of a battle down there to get those long positions in, around 84, 85k. We came up, this was the Christmas period, holiday season period, absolute chop. So if anyone did hold longs from down there, really well done. And then we moved up, okay, and we took pretty much maximum liquidity. I would say that if you tickled 100k, that would have really wiped out a lot more bears, okay? But as we moved up here, of course, after a good move, entering into tax season as well, when people want to realize some profits and do tax returns and all that rubbish as well, you probably got a lot of perps traders taking profit down here, okay? We fall back. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart. So of course, as we enter this region here, it's always a case of, well, maybe this isn't it, you know, maybe we do, if we get some good demand, volley it back up once again, and we just start a new trend. You've always got to be open to that. We crushed through here. We even back test that trend and down, okay? So since this area, obviously, if you put some short positions on there, okay, really, really well played. We came down, and then as you break the trend, yeah, you know, you really wanted to be going a little bit heavier on that short position. So last couple of weeks, I think the shorts have been paying really, really good dividends, right? Okay, so where are we now? We've actually come down into the potential spring, okay? And yes, Nick has put long trades. Should have put a question mark on that, hadn't I? So yeah, we've potentially come down into that zone. Bitcoin bullshit, magic money schematic update, risk on. Okay, so look, we've come down, and this is why I thought we'd start off the charts and chill live streams again, because we are at a crucial point, okay? I'm not going to be so retarded to, although I would do on Twitter, I would act a little bit more retarded on Twitter and say, look, this is it, guys. Maximum leverage, please. Sell your house, tell your wife you've sold the dog, sell your cars. We are going up, and this is absolutely it. That is a stupid way to behave. But now that we are here, okay, and seeing the way this schematic is played out, we need to observe where we are and then have a look at the data in lower time frames now and consider if we do need to put a bit of that risk on, okay? So that is where we are now. I got very overexcited when we started to drop to these levels over the weekend, I do have to say. So where are we now? We are dropping down, obviously. Couple of other things. So the two bullish sides were really that we're coming down for that schematic spring, okay? Then the other one is on the weekly chart. I've been talking about this weekly SFP, swing failure pattern that we can get. So I'm not pulling up TradingView at the minute. I've just got my weekly chart open on the trader console, okay? And I just want to show a couple of examples of this and why potentially this is not quite the same scenario, okay? So I do still want to be a little bit cautious. This is not a confirmed and not even looking like a good swing failure pattern at the minute. So we could still move up, okay, but we're not quite seeing the same, okay? Why? Here we go, okay? So if you just look at these charts here, all you need to do really is scroll left. Showing this to I was showing this example to someone in WAP yesterday, and you can see this on 4-hour charts, even 1-hour charts as well. If you look for these kind of SFP patterns or swing failure patterns, you know, under previous liquidity zones, you will be trading like a pro and a market maker more than 90% of people, rather than blaming market makers for hunting your stops. They are not hunting your stops, they are looking for liquidity. Okay, so look, there's loads more of these in the Bitcoin chart. You can go to a 4-hour chart, even daily charts, weekly charts. But look, here is a nice weekly SFP. Okay, so we put in a weekly there. Okay, back in July, we rise up, we come down. As price come down, what would you be looking for? I would be looking for liquidity under this weekly level here, okay, a weekly SFP. Now, what I need to bring to your attention is what's nice about this one and this one here. We'll draw another line on this one here as well. Price is at a similar point, but yeah, just bear in mind that. Okay, what's nice about these is you get an absolute quick confirmation, probably within a couple of days, maybe even a couple of 4-hour candles, to be honest. Look how price wicks down, and yes, this is over a week, obviously. Price wicks down, comes back up and closes above. Yeah, so it's closing above. Devil, I'm not on Market Monkey at the minute. I do have it. I'm just on TRDR. I'm going to jump to Market Monkey in a second and I will show you that's there, because yeah, there's some nice confluence building in there as well. Just in TRDR on a nice clean chart at the minute. Okay, so you instantly start to close above, don't you? And even on this one here, as you come down, okay, I'm sorry if the OGs in here are very, very familiar with this kind of process, but I just want to point it out on a simpler form in comparison to what we are seeing now. So, you know, even if you were long down here in this zone, up, down, okay, you know, you come back down again, but you are closing above what is potentially that key zone of 55k, okay? We rise up, okay, you put in a low, you put in a wick low there, okay, 76, 75k, you come back down, okay, this is a perfect SSP because you didn't even come back the same as that one, yeah? And you pushed up. Yeah, I'll conclude this conversation in a minute on the weekly chart. And you push up, so you close above. This is the key thing. You are closing price above and pushing up. Where are we now? Okay, where are we now? So I've been looking for a weekly SFP of this level for fucking ages, yeah? I always thought that this was going to be the very, very good risk reward SF. Sorry, not that one. What an absolute retard. I'm getting a little bit too excited here, aren't I? This one. Okay, 80k. So even at the weekend, as we start to come down, there was confluence saying, let me get rid of that. There was confluence saying, if we come down here, okay, we've got our weekly schematic, yeah, that's saying we've got the potential for a spring to build here. I've also got a weekly SFP potential here at 80k. So at the weekend, when we came back down to here, I was trying to be a little bit patient and say to myself, okay, I want to look for trades under 80k. I want to look for that liquidity under 80k. Yeah. So yeah, for me personally, as we are now under here, I think the risk for taking spot trades is very good. Okay, just holding a bit of spot. Perhaps prop trades, yeah, just be a little bit more lighter on your feet. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Execute well if you can, and just manage risk down here if you're using any kind of margin or leverage. Okay, but you can just see the difference here. Look, okay, so weekly chart there, wick down. Okay, we SFP it, we close above. Where are we now? Okay, we've just closed and started the week below. Why is that? Because all this price action took place over a weekend, isn't it? Okay, so Saturday, Sunday, you dropped, you got that liquidity taken below, but then of course you open on the Sunday. Okay, I know crypto's 24 hours, but we still go by the session, the session hours, don't we? Okay, you closed and opened below the new week, and you're still here. Okay, we've got no instant push up yet, so that's a cautionary tale for me, to be honest, I do have to say. Now, with that being said, okay, I can get rid of this chart now. With that being said, we have taken a lot of the liquidity here, okay? So I've got no doubt if you went to higher time frame charts, we have still got some liquidity a little bit lower. We've actually just started to tickle this single print on the TPO there as well, time price opportunity. I'm not going to go into too much detail on that, but this is a weekly 4-hour TPO. I do like a higher time frame TPO. I do have to say, I know a lot of people don't. They prefer half an hour and lower time frames. I'm kind of just, I do like, from using XO charts years and years and years ago, I do like a slightly higher time frame bias on the value areas, the single prints and the PCs. Okay, but yeah, just what I want to show you is the liquidity. Okay, I'm basically on a 1 hour chart here. Okay, if you've been following along for a while, you will know that when we rose up to 98, we did take an absolute huge chunk of the liquidity. We've left some up there. Okay, we have left some up there, but we've taken a huge chunk and we just left a little bit there. What is that from? Yeah, people probably taking profit, obviously. Market orders out, and then people putting short positions on. Maybe they're still holding them short positions, not taking profit or whatever. Okay, but yeah, just to say, if you go back on the tweet feed, when we were actually coming down here, there was a massive amount of liquidity down here, okay, under the 80k level, and we've taken a lot of that now. Okay, so look, yes, if I really keep zooming out, and you could go on forever, we've got loads. Okay, you don't have to take that in one clip. Okay, what we're going to do is obviously see where the nearest liquidity is now, and then we're going to draw some confluence. Right, we're going to draw some confluence with the order book. Okay, how strong is the bid down here? Yeah, that's what we need to look at now. How strong is the bid down here? Is it supporting price? Okay, on a lower time frame, so I'm on a 1 hour time frame here now. Is it supportive of price down here? Okay, we know we're seeing spot come in. Okay, our biggest level at the minute is still at around 70k. A little bit of liquidity build into this area now. Okay, but yeah, I would say right now, you know, unless it does come out that Epstein is actually, you know, Satoshi Nakamoto, which I think is a load of bullshit, to be honest. I think he was just funding a bit of the foundation, wasn't he? And fucking hellfire, I mean, what hasn't Jeffrey Epstein funded? He's got his fingers in everything, hasn't he? Yeah, anyway, we'll move on. Right, liquidity. Right, so we are building a lot of liquidity to the upside now, it has to be said. Okay, so you know, don't look for a V-shape up, but a couple of things to remember. Okay, so what have we looked at so far? So the 4 hour schematic, we've got potential for a spring here. If you are going to get a spring down here for that 4 hour schematic to play out, I would say you need to rise up sooner or later. Okay, you really do. Those springs don't really take too long. You know, they don't take too many days, or certainly don't take a week to play out in theory. Okay, the weekly chart, we got the SFP on Saturday, but we've had no close above that SFP. Okay, so that is not looking too hot. Okay, another thing to say is even on yesterday's push down, so we got this big push down yesterday where we couldn't even take the Monday high. So that's always a trade I look for. Okay, so you float up here on a Monday in the US session. I always look for, can we take that level? Can we take that level? And we couldn't even take the Monday high. We just rolled over and came down. The move up yesterday after that nuke, I'd say it's a little bit of a nuke. We haven't achieved much, and that's always what I look at as well, is what is price actually telling you? Okay, is it struggling a bit here? Yes, it is. Okay, so we've got good depth of book in the books. Okay, it's not bad, it's building 600, probably 650, 700 million aggregated. We'll go look at that in a second, but just look at the structure at the minute. All right, you've just got to, you know, say to yourself, what is price telling me? Yeah, we've bounced, but we haven't even got up to the previous zone there of this little bit of resistance. Okay, it's struggling a little bit, isn't it? Okay, so just please appreciate that. Yeah, this is MMT terminal. Just enjoying this, really I'm enjoying this. With the heat map, you can obviously just extend these levels and stuff. Yeah, really brilliant. And when you build confluence with the heat map, okay, which for me has been an absolute matrix moment, because we know these are liquidation levels. Obviously, what have I got on here? I've just got 10x to 75x at the minute. Look, we know that liquidation levels don't necessarily move markets in and on their own, but they certainly provide fuels, because in these zones of liquidity, okay, you're going to have a hell of a lot of market orders, aren't you? Okay, forced market orders. Okay, people getting stopped out, people taking profit or whatever. You know, that's just the way it is. So if you can layer the liquidity chart, okay, with your bid ask, okay, and your key levels, again, you are 99% ahead of the rest of the market. Yeah, tie that in with a little TPO as well, and away we go. Yeah, so right, back to the TRDR console then. Let me just come away from that. There's a couple of things I want to show you with the TRDR console as well. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with this system and this absolute genius console that the guys have built, so let's concentrate on this for a second. So yeah, we've gone through the multiverse. Let's have a look at Bitcoin then. Let's keep it fresh. Let's keep it fresh. Fresh eyes on today. I always say that, but I do like to trade and look at the market that way. 15-minute time frame then. Let's just zoom out to a 15-minute time frame. So look, this is where we did get some levels, top levels as the guys call them, covering price yesterday at 79. We came down. Okay, we started to find some spot bid. We actually hit a 90 ratio, okay, on the 1 to 2.5%, and then we're hitting 60 ratios on the 2.5 to 5%. So that gave us a bounce, okay. Have to admit, with that being late in the day yesterday, trying to cook dinner and do all the other shit, if ever you're trying to enter a trade, just tweet me or message me and say, are you cooking dinner, Nick? Because that's when all the volatility kicks in. So I'm trying to cook dinner for Mrs. Nick, and all the volatility kicks in. But yeah, that did give us a bounce yesterday. We got a depth of 590, 600 million depth of book, so that's aggregated from a lot of the exchanges, okay. An open interest came down, yeah, but like I say, we haven't achieved much, yeah. So you got a nice volley up. You've probably squeezed some shorts that were chasing price down. Never chase shorts or longs. You should be in at the lows of the move with best risk reward, okay. We just haven't achieved much, and we've got offers covering price again at 78 and 79k in spot. Okay, quick look at Coinbase Pro. Let's have a look at a couple of the other exchanges and see what they're doing. Then we'll just have a look at volume and stuff. Okay, Coinbase Pro USD, which is I think a better chart to be honest. Okay, again, few offers covering price. What I can't ignore at the minute, despite the fact I would like to get a little bit more risk on in this zone, is I'm seeing a lot of confluence down at the 70k level now. I do have to say 75k at the weekend was my first initial level. That got deviated below on Sunday evening, I believe. 70k is building a lot of confluence. I do have to say you'll see a level on USDC. Okay, USDT, Binance 70k. Okay, so you know, maybe in the next 12 hours, if you get a rise up and you're day trading this again, that might be another short you want to take back down, you know, regardless of funding or whatever. I think funding is probably something I look at last on any charts or data when I'm considering trades and stuff. Okay, it's only when you get to absolute extremes. Right, so the king makers of the charts are still a Binance. One thing to say is, as we swept the Monday low yesterday, okay, so it's always a nice trade to take. We did deviate well below there though. As we swept that low yesterday, they came in with some bid, but no real big levels in support. They've now got quite a fat cheeky order right at that Monday level is now slightly irrelevant, but I'm just going to keep it on there for a second because we've taken it already, okay. Yeah, we've got a fat level actually defending 74.9. So keep an eye on that today. If we can hold this zone, okay, in the US session, you might get a little rotation up. Okay, CoinM, regardless of what you think about trading CoinM or inverse perpetual contract swap data and trades, the CoinM chart from Binance has been quite good lately. Okay, so yeah, get it in your watch list, get it on your alerts even. It has been a good chart. They've actually dropped their top level, so they were in a little bit of support there at 72. They didn't quite get down there, and they've actually got a level at 69.8 there. Okay, so yeah, I'm not going to think about that until we actually go there. BitMEX now, before I click on this, I know it's going to be a little bit of a messy chart, but just have a look at this. Look at that aggression from BitMEX. Okay, whatever bias you have, and for me, of course, I would love nothing more than when we are at lower prices, I'm never going to get ultimate bearish. Okay, I'll just say that when price has dropped, I will look for opportunity to long. Okay, I will only ever get bearish when prices rise. Okay, that is it. So I'm looking for opportunity, but I'm not going to be fucking stupid enough to say this is going to absolutely gig ascend to over 100k when the OGs at BitMEX are absolutely hovering and ready to kill price, even if we float up to 82k. Yeah, so even if you get a big volley up in the next 2 or 3 days to 82k, these guys are absolutely prepared to sell you back down. That is probably some big liquidity zones as well there. Look at that. Okay, so you've got a chunk of liquidity here, 80k to 82, and then your next biggest chunk of liquidity is 86. But I wouldn't speculate on 86 when these guys are so aggressive, okay, covering 82. Okay, so just be aware of that. You cannot, you know, these guys at BitMEX, they don't do enough volume. They don't do as much volume as Bybit and as Buyvan, as they just don't, you know, but they are not stupid traders. They are smart traders still to this day, and they are more often than not on the right side of the market. So just be aware of that. Price is not going to gig ascend. I don't care what your crypto bros say on Twitter, in your Telegram, Discord channels. We are not going to gig ascend while these guys are hovering over price. So drop down again, volley it back up into this area, yes, but you need to consider, especially if you are buying, okay, if you are now saying to yourself, yeah, you know, I'll buy spot around here, maybe 70k, maybe even I'll entertain 60k, I'm DCing or something like this, and you want to hold for the next couple of years or whatever, okay, you know, you've certainly got to now consider, if you haven't already, hedging positions with shorts. I would say if you are buying spot, you are long, aren't you? Okay, but yeah, just to say, yeah, if we get any nice day trades back up again, if anyone caught that one, well done. If we do get any day trades back up again, you've got to lower expectations when you're seeing data like this from these guys. All right, so let's have a look at volume. Let's have a look at volume. Let me just zoom out if I can. I'll go full screen. There we go. I hope you can still see that. Yeah, look, CVDs did come down yesterday. Last BTC diamonds we got were up here on Monday. The top level there was a little bit further away. You can see we've had double diamond alerts as well for the bid. That was our little deviation under 75k and then back up. The volume right here right now is looking a bit shit. Spot volume has really flattened out after yesterday's sell-off. Open interest has nuked, and we keep getting flashes of negative funding, which is good, obviously. Okay, so that is, you know, not bad. I think something to say is obviously that, you know, if you're going to come down to the lows again, if we come down and maybe hit the Binance perps lows or whatever, you know, the Binance perps levels that we're just looking at, again, very, very simple and boring, but that's how trading should be. Execution of trade should be very boring, systematic with a little bit of discretion on there as well, okay? But yeah, I would look to come maybe fill a bit of this zone, and let's get the blue and the green volume divergences up on that low open interest, okay? Very, very simple thing to look at. All right, guys. So yeah, jumping back, what else can I show you? I just want to have a look at the higher time frame liquidity king. Okay, let's zoom out to that. There we go. Okay, so look, 4-hour charts are always the best. 4-hour charts are my favorite. Okay, as we have deviated below here structurally, and this is kind of like, it puts it into context as well. What have we achieved over the last couple of days? Nothing. Right, absolutely fucking nothing, have we? We've spiked up, we got hammered down, we've come up, okay, and price is just stuck under the weekly open now. One thing to say is higher time frame, we have had some good news. Spot market is, the books have been emptied a couple of times. Perps books have been emptied, obviously, because everyone gets liquidated. The open interest RSI, yes, this is open interest on an RSI, but look how good it is. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. Look at the tops there. Okay, look at the top there. Another one there, and then the low periods down here. Okay, another low there. Absolutely brilliant. So look, you know, you need to, again, there's bearish and bullish signs here, isn't there? What I would say is, from a higher time frame, spot perspective, is what I'm trying to say. Things are looking okay. Even if you go down a little bit further, yeah. Flashes of negative funding, open interest absolutely nuked, books have been nuked as well. Let's just have a look at that on a daily time frame. I do like the daily and the 4-hour time frame for this. and then we'll dive into some other shizzle. Okay. So look, we can see where we are, but yeah, even daily time frame, everything's just nuked. At the bottom here is actually just LS ratio, and LS ratio, like funding, is actually probably one of the last things I would ever look at for trade execution. I think it's just a higher time frame, nice, especially when you get areas like this. So you've got your high up in interest, and then the LS ratio as well up at the highs there as well. Have I inverted this? I think I've inverted, haven't I? No, yes I have. Yeah, I like to see it all in confluence. So I like to see the high open interest. I like to see the RSI, the LS ratio in the red as well. Okay, so we got that in that area there and that area there. So really nice high time frame charts. But what are we seeing now? We've got the open interest RSI at the lows on a daily time frame. Okay, not seen since these kind of areas. Okay, back here, and you can see even back here, this was March into April. Look, even then it took a little bit of time, didn't it? Okay, you can't, would you call that a range? I guess you could kind of call that a range. Okay, and then you eventually put in that low on the 8th of April. Okay, as the open interest was already coming up, so you probably got longs starting to enter, come up into the market there. Okay, but yeah, just to draw a couple of comparisons. Okay, keep an eye on that, please do. Right, other bits to look at then. I've got to say, I'm not really concentrating on many altcoins at all. Most of them look absolutely fucking diabolical, and when I say that, if a chart sometimes looks absolutely disgusting and diabolical, you can sometimes find a case to go risk on and get bullish on it and maybe have a little bit of risk on. But a lot of charts are just completely underperforming. Okay, so I do have a few altcoins on my list here, but I'm really not interested in trading most of them. Okay, look, let's have a quick look at ETH then. So look, ETH had an okay bounce yesterday from that top level. As we came down there yesterday, I do have to say I was being greedy and I was hoping it would crack that level. But again, 90 ratios there on spot for ETH. What did ETH hit? So ETH hit 345 million aggregated depth. If you're unfamiliar, anything over 400 million aggregated depth is pretty good on ETH. If you get anything between 800 million and a billion aggregated depth on BTC, that is good. Okay, so yeah, absolute massive squeeze up there yesterday. But then in the last 12 hours, what have we achieved here? Not a lot. And then if I just zoom in a little bit, you've already got spot offers covering price with that lower level still there at 2k. So yeah, not exactly bullish price action, I do have to say. Okay, Soyboy Sol struggled all night, to be honest. Okay, so Sol came down to this level at 95. And we've been getting alerts around here, but it's really struggling. The 95k level on Sol is a bit lighter now. Okay, 90k is actually your biggest level. I know that's a bit of a percentage away, but just imagine if BTC does rotate down to the 70ks, you know, you're going to get a little bit of value on Sol. Hype has been doing well, hasn't it? It's probably due to range a little bit, I would say. Little bit of a messy chart. If you want to trade hype, please just go to top levels and just concentrate on your top levels and where the biggest orders are sitting, and this is where you want to do a little bit of business. Okay, for sure on hype. I think hype is obviously going to do well in the coming years. You know, why the fuck anyone would trust an exchange like Binance nowadays, I do not know. Full disclosure, I use Blofin, but I don't use them very much, to be honest. I do prefer a little bit of DEX and a little bit of prop trading. Yeah, other charts there, dog shit, to be honest. I do have alerts. I tell you what we discussed in the WAP yesterday was some of the OG coins are actually looking better in the spot charts for lower value. A couple of them are, and the Link Marines will love this, is Link is looking okay with a demand zone a little bit lower. I think Link has been at $9 for the past 8 years, for fuck's sake. XRP is pinned by some price action here. So the Lizard Illuminatis at XRP, or whoever holds XRP, expecting 589. You're not going to get it anytime soon. I think you could probably go down to 1.5 dollars for any kind of conclusion there. Okay, yeah, the OG coins have been looking okay in the order books, and what I mean by that is if you just look at XRP here and look how clean the order book is, even if you're just trading, you want to look for stuff like this. All right, don't go to some, and even BNB looks all right actually as well, and the perps chart on BNB I think is quite good. Yeah, the perps chart's good on BNB. What I mean is, let me find a shit chart for you. Tier. Let's have a look at tier. Yeah, tier, I guess. You know, the OBD showing that you're in supply because perps are selling into it, but no major levels really to play. I'm sure the 4-hour and the daily chart looks absolute dog shit as well. But yeah, just messy. You know, you want those good levels to play off. ENA is actually a good one. Again, I don't know why anyone would be buying ENA, Athena, but yeah, it does have a good chart. Look at that. Absolute hindsight. So I won't discuss that, because if you're discussing trades that are hindsight and saying, oh, look at this, that looks good, then and you didn't trade it, then you're just a cunt. As Tom Dante would say. All right, so yeah, I've still got some memes in here. There's a couple of things I'm looking at, but you know, for me, really, I just, especially at these pivotal moments in the cycles and so on, you know, you've really got to concentrate on BTC and ETH. But yeah, let us know in the chat your thoughts if you want to get involved. Is there any charts I want to look at? One thing we were looking at yesterday as well in WAP was, let me just get a clean chart, because I'll fully disclose, you know, looking at ETH and where it can go. I have been watching the ETH BTC chart, and it was looking okay. It was kind of trending a little bit, yeah, but not now. You know, the only thing you could say about ETH is you really, because if you look at a 4-hour chart, it's going to look dog dirt, right? If you look at a daily chart on ETH, you have to say, and it's looking like a little bit of a complex inverse head and shoulders for my TA nerds out there. Look, you just have to do this. Love it or hate it, you have to just do this. All right, and just say, I mean, down to that wick now, obviously, isn't it? You have to say to yourself, whether you're a fan of ETH or not, that is your demand zone, and it probably goes down to about 2k, doesn't it? Yeah, just, I mean, that's 2.1 where we hit yesterday, and you had that wick there as well. But yeah, a little bit of a complex head and shoulders. What is a complex head and shoulders? It's just where you're putting a couple more shoulders in and around the head there. Okay, so it could be something like that. So obviously we've got that top level on ETH at 2k. So if we can hold this zone, yeah, risk on, of course. ETH holds 2k. BTC starts to hold 70k, okay, and we see some really good confluence. You know, maybe we hit that $1 billion bid depth, maybe we've got volume divs, we've taken loads of liquidity, you know, but this for me is the only thing I can look at on ETH. And I would trade it, you know, I would trade it. I wouldn't hold spot ETH in a million fucking years. You couldn't pay me to hold spot ETH when the founder is selling on top of you. It's like holding XRP, knowing the amount of supply in that market, and that the lizards that hold it are just, you know, shuffling to supply. You are just exit liquidity. But yeah, of course, in this zone, would I speculate on a move up? Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I would just get a daily chart open on ETH and just keep it really, really simple, unfortunately. But yeah, you can keep this kind of higher time frame, can't you? There we go. You know, nice and easy. Really, really nice and easy. I'll get rid of that for now. ETH is, I don't care about dominance or anything. ETH is just going to follow BTC as well, isn't it, to be honest. Let's see what we get. Let's see what we get. As I say, it's difficult. Let me bring up another chart in comparison. My old favourite. Is it still valid? Polkadot. Because I know some people often ask me, and I don't know why, what does the Polkadot chart look like? Well, fucking hell, you tell me. You tell me, sir or madam. Look, absolute dog shit. You know, if you've got a coin like this, you've really got to zoom out nowadays. It won't surprise me if this goes and fills this wick, and the rest. You know, is the team still behind it? Is the token still relevant, got a good team. Is it doing anything? Is the chain, is the token active? You know, just have a look at that activity. You know, when you look at this, I mean, that's going to be a resistance now, isn't it? At 3. It's not gonna get up there anytime soon at all, is it? But what I'm trying to say is, you look at ETH and you can still build a case for it being at support. Okay, it being at support, and if it holds this level and shows signs of strength, then we might want to get involved and take a trade on ETH. When you look at something like Polkadot, okay, and see how badly it has performed, okay, since 2022, when it started to put in lower highs and lower lows, it's just not performed, has it? Like in the fucking slightest. So if you're considering looking at altcoins, please, unless it's an absolute speculation, I don't care if I lose my money, I'm going to trade Fartcoin. All right. Please just consider the higher time frame charts. This is in price discovery to the downside. Okay, so just be aware of that. Avoid charts like this at all costs. You really want to. If you're a very patient boy or girl, you know, you would almost wait. You would almost wait for that. The Warren Buffett in you would wait for that confirmation of holding demand again and then get involved. As an investor, as a high time investor, I know a lot of you are sharpshooting perpetuals and prop traders, so that doesn't matter. All right. So yeah, conclusion for today. Let's have a quick look at BTC then. Drop in the chat if there is anything I need to look at, but as I say, I'm not looking at most altcoins, to be honest. It's very easier on your mentality, your trading soul and psychological balance to, if you are trading, just trade the coins that are steadier, that move well, and you can still get a couple of percentage out. Okay, so keep that risk tight. Get a couple of % in the market each day if you can. Okay, go get a good sleep and let the market just show you what is going to happen next. But yeah, right here, right now, look, I think we could potentially get a further bounce today. I'm not sure that we go take the Monday highs now. Okay, what do I mean by that? Just quickly flip back here. So taking the Monday highs is normally a trade I would really look for in the next 48 hours. Monday highs or lows. We've obviously taken the lows. That is a trade I would look for, okay, in the next 48 hours after the Monday price auction. If we are to go and take them, you're going to have to get past these offers here at 77, okay, and you're going to have to really tick into that 79k offer there on spot. This is not, whichever way you shake it, whether you're bullish or bearish, this is not a good sign to move up further just yet. Don't forget that I showed you the BitMEX chart as well. Okay, and then Perps had some aggressive orders at 82 yesterday. They've taken that off. Okay, so we might get a rotation up. As I always say, try not to trade in the middle. Okay, try and wait for the volume to kick in, normally in the US session. Okay, so try not to trade in the middle crab zone, or the beach as I call it, which is the middle there. You might get a deviation down today, okay, into this 75k region again to volley back up. That then please appreciate the supply that is lying above us, okay, and is still very relevant at the minute. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Similar on ETH though, similar on ETH. Let's have a quick look at ETH. No real dynamic bid on ETH though, to be honest, so it's just going to follow the big boy, isn't it? Even the Perps chart on ETH is looking absolutely shocking. Soy boy salt, yeah, watch 95, but your bigger level is at 90. All right, guys. So look, yeah, join us on the socials if you want to connect a little bit more. See links below for all the good stuff. What we'll do is we're probably going to do these live sessions once a week on YouTube, probably on a Wednesday, probably in the Euro session, depending on schedules and stuff. All right, so join us, hit notifications and stuff. Market update videos still on a Tuesday as well. All the juicy good stuff every single day in the WAP community, which I am really enjoying that platform. All right, guys, we will leave it there. I hope you have a great week. I will update people as much as possible when I see anything relevant. Okay, trade lightly with prop and perps. Maybe you want to lean into a bit of spot if we do get deviations lower. All right, guys, speak soon. Cheers.